Because you're so, yes, oh, some brave soul. Yes, brave soul. Yes, actually one devotee said air conditioning. They said, yes, life is comfortable because of science. And Prabhupada said, what is that comfort? He said, air conditioning. You can lie in bed in the heat and listen to music. And Prabhupada said something like, and what will you do about death? Well, the devotee said, well, we have medicines that will make you die more comfortably. And Prabhupada said, oh, the cure of death is death. But alongside of the mobile phones and the air conditioners and the music coming from the sky and our wonderful cars and the wonderful this and the wonderful that, and anesthetics when we're getting our tooth pulled or something like that, which I have to admit is a lot better than not having things like that. But along with that comes so many dangerous things. On one side, there is the promise of an easier life, an anxietyless life. But on the other side is there's actually such an increase in anxiety and fear. And it's dangerous. One bomb and thousands of millions of people can be killed. So after explaining that that Krishna comes to bring down the atheistical elements and to increase the satisfy the devotees, Indra offers his obeisances to Krishna. Says, you are all pervading. You are Brahman. All the realizations of the Supreme Lord that different followers of different paths hold so dear, it is you, Krishna. You are Brahman. You are Paramatma in everyone's heart. You are Bhagawan who comes. I offer my obeisances to you. The chief of the Yadu dynasty, even though he's a coward boy, he knows that aspect of Krishna, that he's a Yadava. And then he offers his obeisances to Krishna, who, in every avatar of Krishna, whose form is always pure consciousness. Satchid Ananda Vigraha Naldiraldi Govinda. And is the soul of all creatures, the life of everyone, the life of every soul's life. He offers obeisances. And then he realizes that he just said Krishna is the Paramatma. So he really knows what happened and why Indra himself gave the Brijbasis in his anger so much trouble. So he said, I might as well just say it to Krishna and admit my fault. And he said, oh Lord, when my sacrifice was disrupted, you stopped my sacrifice. You stopped all those offerings that were meant to please me. I became fiercely angry. Sometimes when we become angry, we can control it. And Krishna said, you can control this with your intelligence. But when we're fiercely angry, we are unstoppably angry. Did you ever get fiercely angry? Really? What was it like? And did you try to destroy the whole house? Huh? Happy to hear that. But look how angry Indra was. What happens when one's angry, the mode of ignorance becomes so strong. It is like the opposite of the mode of goodness. You become so focused. On one level, it's a kind of peace because you have only one thought in your mind, but your thought is to just destroy and hurt. But so focused in mind, you don't see anything else including what's going to happen after the anger goes away. I became fiercely angry, and what was the cause of my anger? Because of my false pride. I thought, I am Indra, the powerful king of heaven, and this boy, this talkative boy, has convinced all these coward men that they should worship a hill instead of me, and worship the fire, the brahmanas, and the hill and the cows, and give nothing to me. I will show them their mistake. They have offended me. Thus, in my anger, I tried to destroy your entire cowherd community with winds and fierce rain, hail, thunder, lightning. Oh Lord, your reaction to that was that you showed me mercy by shattering my false pride and defeating my attempts to punish Braja. You gave me a great gift. You made me understand. And you didn't even say anything. You just held up the hill. But by doing that and protecting the community of Braja against all my powers, you let me understand how tiny and insignificant I and all my powers actually are in the face of you and your power. So to you, in great thanks for having removed my false pride, to you, the Supreme Lord, the spiritual master, the great teacher, and the Supreme Soul, Tamaham Sharanam Gata. I have come to you to surrender. I've come to you for shelter. He couldn't think of anything else he could say or do. He just surrendered to Krishna. Now, our acharyas have explained it wasn't completely pure, his surrender, because he still had some selfishness. He wanted to be protected from getting punished and suffering punishment. Young boys in the first row, playful boys. It's so nice that you like to play. How long have you two known each other? Last life too, or only this life? Excuse me?
Maybe
2 years. 2 years. And you're pretty good friends? Yeah. Both of you said yes. That's nice. So nice. Prabhupada once told myself and Jagattarini Mataji that we must make friendship with the devotees. And if we don't have friendship with the devotees, because we are social by nature, we'll be forced by our social nature to make friendship with non-devotees. And then we will not be able to follow principles. So it's very good that you two are friends. Do you play sports together too? Yes? What's your favorite sport? Huh? The three of you. He plays on your soccer team or you play on his soccer team? Both. Yeah, okay, good. We play on the same soccer team. So now we hear Krishna's response to these prayers. Remember, he's just by Govardhan Hill. Sukadeva Goswami says, I think maybe it's there. I can't see it even. What verse is it? Okay, that's the next one. Everyone, close your eyes and don't look at that one, otherwise you'll know everything. Sukadeva Goswami said, this is 14, thus glorified by Indra, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he smiled. And then he spoke to Indra as follows. His voice was deep and resonant, like the rumbling of clouds. Actually, Krishna wasn't so interested in this insignificant offender, Indra. He smiled. He showed his generosity of spirit. It was clear that he wasn't angry. And he spoke to Indra. When Brahma offered his prayers, which were even longer, Krishna didn't even answer. He didn't even respond. But to Indra, he responded. He was merciful to Indra, but he was still angry because he remembered that Indra had attempted to destroy the entire cowherd village of Raj. But he considered Indra and his attempt as insignificant. And then in 3 verses, he responds. The first verse, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Maya te akori Magavan. My dear Indra, I have done this to you. I've held up the hill. Makabango anugrahata. What does anugraha mean? Mercy. And maka means sacrifice. Maka bhanga. Bhanga. I've broken, like Madanga Bhanga, the Shiva Sangha, or the place where the Madanga was broken by the Kazi. So I have broken or stopped your sacrifice out of my mercy. I wanted to show you mercy. Man anusmritye nityam. Because I want you to always remember me. When Krishna does something to us that breaks our false pride, false sense of being great and powerful and central, if we see that it is actually Krishna, then we remember Krishna, and that is the most fortunate thing. Krishna himself says to Narada Muni, he said, he says that Muchanti Ritsayam, Sarvan Muchanti Ritsayam, that by remembering me, by remembering my form, everyone close your eyes and remember the form of Krishna. The form of Krishna that's your favorite of all forms. As long as your Krishna is in your mind right now, you might as well make an offering. What would you like to offer him? Well, you can do it right now. What would you like to offer Krishna? Words, obeisances, flowers, fruit, garlands, jewels, water from holy places, obeisances. What would you like to offer Krishna? And if one can somehow keep the form of Krishna in one's mind, that is the greatest fortune, because the mind will be purified. And not only will the mind be purified, but one will become happy, because it's natural to want to offer Krishna instead of wanting to enjoy things ourselves. Okay, slowly open your eyes if you want to. Either that or you can stay in the world of you and your special form of Krishna. I wanted, mad anusmritaye nityam, I want you. And Krishna is telling all of us that I want you to always remember me. Matsyendriya sriya brishtam. I did this because you are Matsya. You are intoxicated. Sriya brishtam. You are greatly intoxicated by the opulences of Indra. And we get intoxicated, I can speak for myself, intoxicated by something very little, small. I can do this, I have that. And then suddenly I think I'm so wonderful. So here's the verse, the translation of the verse. Please, next slide. Who's going to read it? Yes, you have to read it very loud. You're next, but so loudly so that in Swargaloka, Indra will hear Krishna's words.
Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Indra, it was out of mercy that I stopped the sacrifice meant for you. You were greatly intoxicated by your opulence as king of heaven, and I wanted you to always remember me."
Thank you. So he spoke, Krishna spoke sincerely and told him just what he had wanted. He wanted Indra to remember him again and again. And especially when his pride would come up, the cure would be to remember Krishna and Krishna's position and Krishna's power again and again. Because by remembering Krishna, one associates with Krishna, because Krishna, his form, his name, his qualities, his pastimes, his activities, they're the same as Krishna. And if we keep our consciousness on Krishna, we're with Krishna. And Krishna is implying that it would not have been possible. It would not have been possible for Indra to remember him if he was intoxicated, illusioned by pride, by thinking himself so great and wonderful and intelligent and beautiful and powerful and wealthy and etc. So Krishna wanted to remove that concept and show him give him a glimpse of what unlimited power and wealth, etc. is. Next verse. I think it should be just the English. No. Go to a man blinded by intoxication with his power and opulence cannot see me nearby with the rod of punishment in my hand. If I desire his real welfare, in other words, one does something out of his pride, thinking, I can do this, I am more powerful. Why can I do it? Why should I do it? Because I can, and I'll be happy. I don't care what happens to you. Or even if I do care, I care more about me. But yet, whatever we do in this world, there's a reaction to it. And Krishna is the one who holds the stick of chastisement. There's a reaction for what we do. So when in the midst of our pride and wanting something, in the midst of our greed, in the midst of our envy, we don't see that our actions are going to get us from Krishna. He's there with the rod of his chastisement in hand. And if I desire that person's real welfare, I remove his pride, I drag him down from his materially fortunate position. So that's a bit of a warning, isn't it? We either become humble or it's just a matter of time. No one has perfect karma that they only go up and up and up and up and up. Everyone must have up times and down times and down and down. And then ultimately everyone has to be confronted with the Lord of Death. And where does one's pride go when it's time to leave this world and leave all the things that were attached to it? It's gone. and it's frighteningly gone. But there's another meaning to this. That's the meaning for non-devotees. But for devotees, it's even weightier. Because when there's pride in the heart, then we don't see Krishna with a stick in his hand. But for the devotees, we don't see him with the cowherding stick in his hand. We don't see Krishna, the cowherd boy, Gopal. We can't see Krishna in Braj if we have pride. Because when there's pride, there's a mastering mood, not a serving mood. And one needs a very complete serving mood with great love to see Krishna in Braj. So that is the greatest of losses. Next verse. This is the one, did you want to read still? The next one? Okay. But can you do it really loudly? Okay. Now stand up and do it. Stand up and say it really loudly. Indra.
You may go now. You may now go execute my order and remain in your appointed position as king of heaven. But be sober, without false pride.
Be sober. What's the opposite of being sober? Not exactly. What's the opposite of being sober? Not yes, but what's the exact opposite? Intoxicated. When one's intoxicated, one doesn't see things accurately. When one's sober, one sees things as they are. So pride is an intoxication. So he tells him, Krishna tells Indra, you go back to your ruling of heaven, but don't be intoxicated by your power and position. Be sober. See things accurately. You are empowered. You're not the empowerer. You're not the powerful one, but you have a little bit of power given by Krishna. Be sober. Whatever it is that we're proud of is just something very little given by Krishna. And just as he's given it to us, in 1 second, what? He can take it away. So I'd like to read, there's a few comments. I think it's by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, but one of the acharyas. Krishna says, remain sober and remain without pride. Be situated in your position. Otherwise, I will punish you again. The Lord did not promise Indra that he would now be free from pride. That is because later Indra would again show pride when Krishna stole the parijata flower, and that pride would be necessary for carrying out a pastime. So Krishna uses everything, included Indra's pride, to fulfill his own desires. But the comment continues. Indra says, please listen carefully. Can you give me mercy so that I can stay in Braja? Krishna says, no, Indra. Return to your place. May there be safety for you. Thus Krishna released Indra from fear. Krishna continued. But he saw that Indra was hesitating. He was reluctant. He didn't want to leave Braja. And Krishna then said, go to your heavenly planet, and there you should follow my orders. You should rule and do the duties that you have as a servant. since you are unqualified, and this is a very important line, since you are unqualified, your staying here in Braj would produce more offenses. Going to Swaga is better for you. The qualification to be in Braj is very great. It's very subtle. Very subtle, but that's the supreme position. Of course, it's going to be very difficult to attain, of course. But it takes only one thing, bhakti, in a particular mood, the mood of the residents of Vrindavan. Going to Swaga is better for you. Indra said, "Oh Lord, even if I go, I will commit offenses, since it is the nature of having power to commit offenses and to become proud." Krishna says, "Do as I have instructed you. Remain in your position, not in the position of others. What to speak of the position of the people of Braja, who are my most intimate associates. Act with attentiveness. Do not be inattentive. Act with bhakti. Act with devotion. Act free from pride." Our Acharya's comment, giving this benediction was not really mercy to Indra, but it was instruction with logic, because Indra was not otherwise capable, since he had no potential at this point to receive complete mercy. Now there's so much depth in that comment. Prabhupada would sometimes say, first deserve, then desire. If our pot has many cracks and holes in it, how much can that pot hold? Whatever we put in is put in, will drip out. Our pot, our consciousness has to be complete and right to get the qualification, the highest qualification. And it is a kind of pride that makes me think that I can be qualified to go to a place where I'm not really qualified yet to go. That's the comment of probably Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Next is 18. Then someone else comes. We haven't mentioned her yet, really, but if you remember, she came with Indra, and I'll give you a hint who it was. How did you get? Yes, who? Suravi. Suravi came. And if you think I'm kidding, here's the proof. She came with her progeny, all the other cows, and they all had cowbells. And she respectfully requested Krishna, that gentle lady respectfully requested Krishna's attention. And she addressed the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was present before her as a cowherd boy. Now, she was from Swagaloka, and all the cows were with her. But the cows were Krishna's transcendental cows of Goloka. And she was from Swaga. They were Krishna's own cows of Braja. It's a little calf. Little calf. Little calf. Now we will see how Mother deals with this one. Little calf. Did you see what's in the back? It's quite amazing. Look at that. There's so many of them too. Can you hear them calling you? Well, that didn't quite work. Sometimes we have to pick people up, little people up. You want to stay here? You want to sit here? Okay, you want to stand. There's a really nice place for you to stand right over there. Because otherwise it's hard for me to read. Because you're such a nice devotee. The inevitable is now going to inevitabilize. Now watch the politics of this. Now the child, well, the ultimate weapon right at this point is crying. And the crying means everyone will now see you're the worst mother that ever existed. See? Just see what they're doing to me, everyone. So, how do children know how to do that kind of politics from the very birth? So she saw the cows, she loved the cows, she saw the cows as her own progeny, her own relatives, her own children, her own family. And she saw Krishna, the cowherd boy. She saw the cowherd boy and she was a cow. And there was such an affinity, but yet she was from Swagaloka. So she had great respect when she spoke to Krishna. Her consciousness wasn't exactly like the consciousness of the cows in Braja. She was intelligent. She was wise. And she thought the Lord has not directly given Indra his full mercy because he was a great offender. He did violence to Gokul, and he spoke such harsh words about Krishna himself. So she understood just what's going on, but she wasn't quite on the level of Krishna's transcendental cows of Braja. And she began offering her prayers to Krishna. She offered how many prayers? 3, yes. Now this one, the first one? No? Yes. Okay, this one we can, you can lead us, you read it, and then we'll all respond because it's such a nice prayer. Oh, okay, the 3 boys, 3 cowherd boys, 4 cowherd boys. Okay, all the cowherd boys, read it together. Surabhi Uvacha Krishna Krishna Mahayogin Vishvatma Vishvasambhava Bhavata Lokanatena. I made a great mistake, excuse me. This was spoken by the little cows, the cows. So do we have any cows here? Surabhi cows? Are you a Surabhi cow? No. Are you a cowherd boy? Are you a Braja Gopika? Okay, we'll stop with that here. Okay, so Krishna Krishna Mahayogin. Why don't you go back one slide? Oh Krishna, oh greatest of mystics, the greatest of yogis, Vishvatma Vishvasambhava, you are the soul of the universe. You are the cause, the origin of the universe. So she wasn't looking at Krishna as the transcendental cows of Braja looked at him. They just saw him as their protector and with motherly love. She saw him from the position of a devata, practically speaking. Bhavata Lokanatena. You are the master of the worlds. Sanata Vayamakshuta. And O Achyuta, O infallible one, since you are the master of the worlds, and since we are in the world, and you are the master of the world, therefore you are our master too. This is her request. You become our Indra. You become our Lord. Now, okay, cowherd boys, you three cowherd boys, read.
He said, O Krishna, greatest of mystics, O soul and origin of the universe, you are the master of the world, and by your grace, O infallible Lord, we have you as our master.
She was feeling so much happiness, just calling out, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Oh Lord, who has unlimited qualities and unlimited powers, and one of your qualities is that you are affectionate to your devotees. You are more attractive than anyone or anything else. Oh Krishna, oh Krishna, oh Krishna. Remember, beautiful Krishna was right before her. Next. Who's going to read this one? Okay. Yes. Who pointed? Okay. Okay, you join the other boys over here. Go over, stand. And then you could read it with them. Sit, sit, sit. Okay. Go. Dhamma. Tvamna paramaka devam. You are our supreme worshipable deity. Tvamna Indra Jagatpate. You are our Indra. O Lord, O Master of the universe. Bhavaya bhavago vipradevanam yechasadava. Please, please, for the welfare of the world, for the welfare of the cows, of the devotees, of the sadhus, please, please be our Indra. You are our worshipable deity. You are our worshipable deity. Boys, go ahead.
You are our worshipable deity. Therefore, O Lord of the universe, for the benefit of the cows, the brahmanas, the demigods, and all other saintly persons, please become our Indra.
So she was begging for everyone, for the world's welfare. You, not this Indra who just tried to destroy Braja and even the cows. You become our Indra. So then the next verse, this is the final verse. Just go to the next one. As ordered by Lord Brahma, Surabhi said, we shall perform your bathing ceremony to coronate you as Indra, an Abhishek. O soul of the universe, you descend to this world to relieve the burden of the earth. Please allow us to install you with an Abhishek as our Indra. And this isn't only my desire, Surabhi said, it was ordered by Brahma. Brahma himself would not come, but he knew Krishna's position. So he fearfully gave this order. She said, Brahma had said to Surabhi, O Surabhi, you are very dear to the Lord who protects your offspring. Therefore you should go to Krishna, who is an ocean of mercy, and get Indra forgiven for his offense. Perform the Abhishek for Krishna and install the Lord as the Indra for the cows. Please, Surabhi said to Krishna, please, this is her dearest request. With her own milk, she would perform the abhishek for Krishna. Please allow us to install you as our Indra. This is the perfection of every living entity's existence, because everyone has unique gifts, every single one, even us. We have something, we can do something that no one else can do. That's what it means to be an individual. We are different in some way than every other person. And we have something that only we can offer to Krishna. Surabhi had her milk. What would you like to offer to Krishna? And Krishna replied to this request of Surabhi, I am just a cowherd boy, the son of Nanda. I'm a member of the cowherd community. How can I be the Indra of the whole universe? Possibly you and Brahma aren't discriminating properly. And Surabhi replied, please agree to this. Allow us to perform this abhishek, since you appear in this world to give the universe, to give everyone happiness. And this happiness, and this is a very important philosophical point, happiness will appear for everyone. Happiness will appear for everyone when you are sprinkled with the water of the abhishek, when you are coronated the central person, when you become the center of everyone's existence, happiness spreads to everyone. Just as the entire tree becomes nourished when water is applied to the roots. Sukadev Goswami said, having thus appealed to the Lord Krishna, Mother Surabhi performed his bathing ceremony with her own milk. And Indra was hiding in the back because he was ashamed of the offenses he had committed. He wasn't going to participate. But when Aditi and the other ladies, the demigods and other ladies, they ordered Indra to come forward and also participate, then Aditi and the other mothers of the demigods anointed the Lord with the heavenly Ganga water from the trunk of... Yes, how did you know who was here? Iravata. So he came. Thus, in the company of the demigods, and Indra, on their order, he accepted that order from higher authorities as his qualification, and he performed the abhishek. And that is the Vaishnava system. That devotees don't push themselves forward, but rather when they're requested or ordered by the other devotees to do something, especially if it's something that seemingly has status or position or anything, that they see is the qualification, their order. So thus, in the company of the demigods and great sages, Indra coronated Lord Krishna, the descendant of Dasahar, as the Indra of all the cows, etc. And he thereby gave him the name of Govinda. Govinda. Govinda Jai Jai. Everyone. Everyone.
Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya.
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya.
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya.
Everyone.
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala 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 Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya.
Govinda. Everyone put your hands in the air and call out to Govinda. 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 Govinda Jai Jai. Gopala Jai Jai.
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. 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 Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya.
Gopala Jai Jai.
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda.
Govinda.
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala 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 Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya.
Govinda. Govinda. Govinda! 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 So Indra bathed Krishna along with the sages because he was ordered to do so by the mothers of the devotees who had come there. They had told Indra, Krishna, this is so important to understand and accept. They had told Indra, because Indra had committed the most terrible of offenses. They had told him, Krishna, the Supreme Lord, has a heart that is soft with mercy and is affectionate to those who surrender. In the company of his dear associates, Indra, you should come forward. The time is proper. Do not fear him, but perform this festival with devotion. What does devotion mean to you? Big boy in front. Okay, both of you. And you? Surrender, pleasing Krishna, putting Krishna in the center, doing something. Instead of what I do every day, every act, doing something that I think is best for me, for my pleasure. Do something for the pleasure of Krishna with no other thought than let Krishna be pleased by this. Please, Krishna, you accept this offering. You are my beloved. Please accept this offering. You have been so merciful to me. Please accept this offering. When one offers a flower, it's not that Krishna has a need for flowers or fruit or even our paisa or whatever, or water. But this is the external manifestation of the internal desire to please him. It's coated with devotion. The flower, please accept this. I've brought this for you. So thus, along with the sages, Indra bathed Krishna. He bathed him in Ganga water, brought in a jeweled pot, using Aravati's trunk. He himself rang a jeweled bell, and using the elephant Airavata, Indra quickly gathered water from all the sacred places. And then, along with the devotees and sages, Indra bathed Krishna. Aravata's trunk was used to hold the jeweled pots of water, an act that gave Aravata, an elephant, a chance to show his special bhakti. What does an elephant have? A long trunk. He used it. And when Maharaj Parikshit, who Sukadeva Goswami was speaking to, when he heard of Krishna's Abhishek, he glowed with joy. Text 24. Tumburu, Narada, and other Gandharvas, along with the Vidyadharas, the Siddhas, the Charanas, that came there to sing the glories of Lord Hari. And those glories purify the entire world. And the wives of the demigods, filled with joy, danced together in the Lord's honor. Our Acharya's coming. The glory of Krishna, or chanting the glories of Krishna, or hearing the glories of Krishna, or when Krishna is glorified, it removes all the faults in one's bhakti, including the desire for liberation. Text 25, and there are 27 verses. 25. The most prominent demigods, they chanted the praises of the Lord, and they scattered wonderful flowers, shower of flowers all around. What a festival. All the three worlds felt supreme satisfaction, and the cows drenched the surface of the earth with their milk. And even Indra, who felt so dejected just moments before, was experiencing great joy. Rivers flowed with various kinds of tasty liquids. Trees exuded honey. Edible plants came to maturity without cultivation, and hills gave forth jewels formerly hidden in their interiors. O Parikshit, beloved of the Kuru dynasty, upon the ceremonial bathing of Lord Krishna, all creatures, each and every creature, even those cruel by nature, became entirely free of enmity. Srila Prabhupada's conviction, and if you listen to his words or read his books, and you read any Shastra, the same point is made, that if we place Krishna in the center of our lives become peaceful. If Krishna is the center of our community, the community becomes peaceful. If Krishna is the center of our city, the city becomes peaceful. And if Krishna is the center of the country becomes peaceful. And if Krishna is the center of the world, this very dangerous world where there is so much envy and enmity, it also will become peaceful. Our Acharya's comment, bye-bye. Not only did good qualities appear everywhere, but bad qualities were destroyed because all creatures had Krishna in the center and they were all showing dedication to the Lord. All the worlds attained bliss because of the nature of this Abhishek. They could not prevent it. They could not prevent the happiness arising in their hearts due to this Abhishek where Krishna was installed as the Govinda, the Lord of the cows, the Brahmins, the land. This is the nature, the Acharyas say, of Vrindavan at all times, because in Braj only sweet pastimes occur. Now, I think there is actually keep going. Yes? Yes. Iti Gokula Patim Govindam Abhishekasa Anugyato Yayo Sakro Vrito Devad Bir Divam. Next. Now you read. Boys. Together as one for the pleasure of Govinda. I can't understand anything. That means you're not reading in harmony and togetherness. 1, 2, 3.
After he had ceremonially asked Lord Govinda, who is the master of the cows and the power of the community, King Indra took the Lord's permission and surrounded by the demigods and other higher beings, returned to his heavenly abode.
Indra returned to its heavenly abode with all the demigods and other higher beings. But do you know who did not return? Surabhi. Surabhi stayed in Braja. And it is said in the area of Braja called Surabhikund, that is the area where she stayed. She stayed with the other cows in Braja. And by the other cows association, her mood slightly changed from being in a Swagaloka cow to being a Braja cow by association. Raise your hand if you've been to Surabikund. Raise your hand if you've never been to Surabikund. Raise your hand if you've never been to Surabikund but would like to go to Surabikund. Raise your hand if you've been to Surabikund and would like to go to Surabikund. Everyone but Varun. Raise your hand if you can think of yourself right at this very moment with your eyes closed in front of Radha Vallabha. But keep your eyes closed. And then put yourself in front of Radha Vallabha and bring some gift for Radha Vallabha that is very dear to you. Something that is very dear to you. Close your eyes. And present it in the hand of Srimati Radharani, or present it in the hand of some devotee who will present it on your behalf, in the hand of Srimati Radharani, who will present it to Krishna. Something very, very dear to you. Whatever you would like to give. And then make a very deep prayer to C.C. Radha Vallabha. Your deepest, the best part of you's deepest desire. And then begin to chant Hare Krishna mantra in your mind. Chant louder in your mind. And chant even louder in your mind and sweeter in your mind. So that there's nothing else in your mind other than Krishna in the form of his holy names. And then chant the name of Govinda in your mind. And thank Srila Prabhupada, your Guru Maharaj, the Vaishnavas, any Vaishnavas that you owe some thanks to. Thank Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, the Goswamis. Be in a mood of thanks. And if you so desire, you can pray for some service. Please let me offer to you whatever this little insignificant soul can offer. And please, if you will kindly accept this and engage me in your service. Let the best part of you offer a prayer in that regard.
Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya
Could you put on the MP4? This tells a little bit of what happened after this Abhishek in the land of Braja. The background music is a little low, I've heard. Seeing from a distance that Indra had apologized and lost his fear of Krishna, Surabhi called for all the other cows, who she viewed as her descendants. Then, knowing just what to do, with an eager heart she approached Krishna with great reverence. Krishna smiled when he saw Surabhi. He folded his hands in reverence and spoke, "O mother, why have you come?" Filled with motherly affection, celestial Surabhi desired to offer Krishna her blessings, but she became shy and unable to do so. She said, "My species has become fortunate, for they live here on earth just to offer service to you, their master. But I am unfortunate, as I don't regularly see you or serve you. However, as you are the protector of all planets, and as I also dwell on one of your planets, you are also naturally my master. I pray to you as follows." The ghost shook the prayers which glorify the position of cows. Say that cows are the abode of the demigods and of all festivals. Please accept the position of Indra for all cows and allow Brahma and the devotees, the demigods, to worship you. Your protection of the demigods, even your protection of Lord Brahma, is just a small demonstration of your actual power. And the land, Goloka Vrindavan, has such power that it overshadows Vaikuntha, the spiritual world that contains no anxiety or fear. Oh Krishna, my request to you is that you become the Indra of all cows. Please also allow the demigods to worship you in an Abhishek bathing ceremony. This is not my idea alone, but it is also the opinion of Brahma. By this, foolish Indra also will be purified. We cows are the object of your mercy, and Indra now has taken shelter of us as a medium to obtain your mercy. Indra now is like a thirsty man who seeks the water in a well, for he relies on us to receive your mercy. Oh Lord, please look. See your lotus feet. Indra now bathes them with tears from his thousands of eyes. Hearing her sincere, prayerful request, Krishna, with a modest gesture emanating from his eyes, granted to Surabhi permission to fulfill her requests. Then, to attain Krishna's mercy, Surabhi, along with Narada, Aditi, Indra, Varuna, and the Gandharvas, quickly began preparing for a sacred Abhishek bathing ceremony to worship Krishna. Surabhi said, "O moon of Nanda's family, in Braja, all that is sacred, such as the Yamuna River, they have become successful by serving your feet and the feet of your friends and your relatives. Similarly, the cows of Braja have become fortunate because you have drunk their milk. I request permission that in this bathing ceremony we use water from the Ganga, the sacred river of heaven, and also milk from my own udder. In this way, my milk will have fulfilled its actual purpose. Otherwise, it is useless." Smiling after hearing Surabhi's words, Krishna said, "Do as you please." Then, with a movement of Indra's brow, Airavata then carefully raised his trunk upward and quickly brought a jeweled pot full of water from the heavenly Ganga river. Surabhi then filled Indra Sarov near Govardhan Hill with milk. Then Indra, with strong bhakti in his heart, along with his relatives and the protectors of the directions, they all bathed Krishna while the Gandharvas danced and sang. The sages uttered mantras, and Brahma and Shiva blissfully shouted, "Jai, Jai, victory, victory." With this sound, the Abhishek began, and all who participated bathed in the nectar of happiness. Aditi performed the mother's duties, Parvati performed the sister's duties, and Garuda performed the servant's duties. All who served by serving attained bliss. When the demigods bathed Krishna, his beauty spread in all directions. The fragrance of his limbs in contact with the perfumed substances in which he was bathed traveled throughout the universe. Waves of auspicious sounds entered the ears of the elephants of the directions. Though all living beings became happy because of the spread of bliss, only Kamsa, who was surrounded by his lizard-like friends, shook their heads and became miserable. The demigods then spoke. As Krishna protects all people everywhere, his abode, Golok, the shelter of hundreds and trillions of Lakshmis, is most worthy of praise amongst all planets in the spiritual world. O Krishna, as you reside here with the name Govinda, you should protect this world using that name. At that moment, as flowers fell from the sky, a heavenly voice exclaimed, "Govinda, Govinda." What can be as astonishing as this? Indra presented Krishna an umbrella. The sun god gave Krishna attractive ornaments. Brahma gave Krishna a blue lotus flower, and Lord Shiva presented Krishna with a flute that he himself had crafted. Other demigods offered gifts that became most remarkable by being offered to him. Those gifts themselves then became objects of worship. A throne then appeared for Krishna to sit on, and an umbrella appeared to shade Krishna from the sun. Two chamaras began fanning Krishna. Blissful from being bathed by the glance of lotus-eyed Govinda, the demigods became still more blissful. They then placed their gifts, such as the umbrellas with which they had used to shade Krishna on the nearby trees, and for their own benefit, they repeatedly offered respects to his lotus feet as they tearfully admitted their offenses. These demigods, who had been scolded and forgiven, then took permission and departed. While the entire festive Abhishek was going on, from a distance, all of Krishna's friends were observing Krishna being worshipped. They, with unblinking eyes, had stared, and they, for a few moments, had remained stunned, motionless like pictures. They, however, full of joy, gradually returned to consciousness, and they approached Krishna, their dearmost friend. Coming forward, they saw him, worshipped him, spoke to him, and embraced him with great affection. Seeing the divine umbrella and the other items, they inquired repeatedly about where they had come from. But Krishna hid from them the entire incident of his Abhishek. Thus, although they had observed everything from a distance, they remained unaware of what actually had occurred. Krishna then joyfully decorated his friends with the ornaments given by the demigods, and with those same ornaments, the gold-handled chamara and the other gifts, Krishna's friends served Krishna, their dearmost friend. Ornamented by opulence, Krishna and his friends appeared like kings whose joy increased at each moment. The demigods observed that Krishna was being served by boys with qualities, forms, and natures similar to his own, and they concluded that Krishna himself had bestowed these attributes on his friends due to their love for him. As the devotees began to depart, their departure became interrupted by their becoming stunned in ecstasy. When Shiva and others saw Krishna's powers, they too became completely astonished. Due to Krishna being worshipped, the cows showered the earth with milk, the rivers flowed with various flavors, the trees filled with honey, the mountains held jewels upon their peaks, and inimical animals became friends with one another. When a great person is worshipped, even those who do not worship also naturally become happy. Soon, when the sun had embraced Sunset Mountain, Krishna realized it was getting late. Quickly he gathered the cows and began walking back home with his friends. As they walked, his friends sang and served Krishna with those same divine umbrellas and chamaras. The demigods showered flowers of unequal quality upon Krishna, and thus, with his beauty endowed with his glory, Lord Krishna walked toward his home. Then, as they neared Krishna's home, Balaram with a joyful heart came out from the palace to meet Krishna. Balaram embraced Krishna in happiness, and he too, like a village elder, also smelled the fragrance of Krishna's head. Sitting with Krishna and speaking with him for some time, he took Krishna's permission and removed from his younger brother's body all his divine ornaments, for neither he nor Krishna wanted the village elders to see Krishna in that opulent condition. Balaram then himself walked with Krishna to their Braja palace home. Nanda on that day wanted to hear from Krishna, his friends, and Balaram about the day's events. When Sridham and other friends arrived, they took permission from Krishna and began worshipping Nanda and the assembly with the divine umbrellas, chamaras, and ornaments. This satisfied everyone. Nanda then clearly said, "Please tell us what happened." Sridham said, "To gather the cows, we went far away for a long time. Thus, we were not able to see anything directly. But all these items naturally announced their own divinity." Krishna was acting shy, but everybody understood and said, "That is correct, Sridham. That is the truth." All the elder cowherds then for a moment became motionless like pictures, their eyes unblinking, focused solely upon Krishna. Then Madhamangal began explaining in a loud voice all that had occurred. "Oh, Maharaj Nanda, please listen. First, the cow began speaking. Then, someone with 1,000 eyes offered respects. A white elephant then took water from heaven and bathed Krishna with it. Someone with 4 heads and then someone with 5 heads began reciting praises. Many people bathed your son in a greatly festive mood." Nanda and the citizens thought that they too should perform some auspicious act at this time, but yet they remained immobile. A voice then spoke from the sky. O Nanda, just as we gathered and installed your son as Govinda, you should also all gather together, ornament your son, and install him as the Prince of Braja. Hearing those words filled Nanda and the other elders of the cowherd community with joy and pride. And after considering how to proceed, the elders organized auspicious music, brahmanas to chant auspicious blessings, and while offering gifts to everyone, they produced a festival that installed and respected Krishna as the Prince of Braja. The women headed by Yashoda arrived, and holding jeweled lamps in their hands, they performed pious rites, offering arti, offering respects, and offering piles of jewels and gems. They carefully led Krishna to his rooms as if he were affection personified. The reciters of this section of Gopal Champu then exclaimed, O Nanda, you have given birth to a son who brings joy to my mouth by reciting his glories. He has brought happiness to the earth, the cows, and the heavens by taking the post of Govinda, the Lord of the cows. Any questions? Plenty of time. Oh, before we get to the questions, what stuck in your mind after hearing and watching that? What point stuck in your mind? Raise your hand, if anything. Yes?
When Krishna is worshipped nicely, everyone becomes satisfied.
When Krishna is worshipped nicely, placed in the center, everyone becomes satisfied. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
How dangerous the pride is, that when I saw in the picture, Indra had so many eyes. So he's already cursed and he's already suffering. Still he is full of pride.
Yes. Very heavy point. Humbling, yes. It's a humbling point, isn't it? Anyone else? In the back. Prabhu, next time you have to sit in the front.
You can see even the demigods, when they worship the Lord Krishna, still it was full of abundance, whereas the worship of the same lordships through his devotees are on a very different level. So we can see even they try to enjoy worshipping the Lord, but still they can't even come anywhere near to the love that his pure devotees have.
They're pure devotees, maybe. They can be pure devotees, but the residents of Vrindavan have a love that's quite different. And it's so powerful because it's filled with, he is ours. He is our village boy.
I think they look like they're very simple devotees also.
Yeah, they're very simple-hearted, pure-hearted. But their love is so powerful that even controls the all-powerful. Krishna. Thank you. Anyone else? I saw a hand. Yes.
Even though
Just wait till the microphone appears before your hands.
What struck me, Maharaj, is Surabhi cow offering prayers to Krishna, Even a cow can also offer prayer.
Yeah. And what else did she offer?
She offered her milk also.
Yes. How wonderful.
Yeah.
Even an elephant.
Yes.
Yes, Paul. Thank you.
Even though Indra is the master of Surabhi cow in the heaven, but still he wasn't allowed to stay in the Braj, but Surabhi cow was given permission to stay in the Braj.
Yeah. Thank you. Any Matajis like to say anything that struck them? Yes, little Mataji.
What struck me?
You have to wait for the microphone to appear. Okay?
What struck me the most is that I didn't know that cows could speak Sanskrit.
What to speak of English? I've never thought of it in that way. Usually they just speak more. She was no ordinary cow, correct? Are you learning Sanskrit yourself?
I'm trying to.
Oh, okay. Then you'll be able to speak to all the devotees and all the cows who can also speak Sanskrit. Anyone else? Yes.
One of the points that was quite inspiring for me was that initially Surabhi Mata, she was having the reverential mood.
She was?
Having the reverential mood from the Swarga Loka, but because of the association with the cows in Vrindavan, she also gradually got the mood of the cows in Vrindavan by association.
Association. Mataji.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. It was mentioning there that although Krishna was come back with so much of divinity, he was feeling shy. But the Nanda Maharaj and everyone there want to make him the Prince of Raja. That's very, like they don't want what happened before, but all that important for them is that Krishna, their own Krishna, to be becoming famous again. Becoming famous.
No, they wanted him to become, he was naturally the center of their eyes and their consciousness, and they just wanted to acknowledge that they were sort of in one sense imitating the devotees, but in another sense just doing it in their own mood. They just love him so much as their Krishna. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaji. The point that struck me is when Indra says his desire to Krishna is to stay in Braj, and Krishna orders him to go back. So, though Krishna is merciful towards Indra and is forgiving him, but still he is not allowed to stay in Braja.
But why?
Because he doesn't have pure devotional service.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't have, but even if he did have, he could be in Vaikuntha maybe, or this place or that. But Braj is very special.
Yeah. So understanding that, like, where do we stand, like?
Okay, let me ask you that question. Where do you stand?
No idea.
No idea. Can anyone offer some advice? Because you're not the only one in that situation. I am also. Anyone? Advice for us? Oh, now I've just made it so no one will answer. Now you have to, what do you know? What to do? Should you become hopeless?
Try.
Hmm?
Try.
Try to.
Please Krishna.
And how to please Krishna? Considering you are who you are at this point? How?
He is everything.
Okay, Jagattarini Mataji, you have to help us.
How?
Huh?
How?
Did you say how or moo? Okay, but you need a microphone. How? What should we do when we realize that even Indra, who is so powerful and exalted and seeing Krishna face to face, what can I do who's so me?
Well, you have to stop for a minute and kind of look at yourself, and that's always embarrassing, because you're always less than you'd like to be. And the first thing is you have to recognize that I'm less than I'd like to be. And then, when that recognition is strong enough that it kind of quietens the part of the mind that's always busy with important things, then you have to turn in the direction of prayer and pray to the residents of Vrindavan, or if you don't have any idea who the residents of Vrindavan are, then pray to Srila Prabhupada, Radha Ballabha, or especially pray to Sri Sri Gaur Nitai, because Nityananda Prabhu and Lord Chaitanya, they've come here expressly to take care of those who are incapable. So the problem is that we're trying to push forward thinking that we're capable, and then we reach this halt where you can't go any further because you've come to a zone where your capabilities are actually your incapabilities. And you have to pray from some part of you that is now humble, that to Lord Nityananda, I'm so totally incapable and unqualified, and I don't even understand what it is that I'm incapable and unqualified for, and I don't even have necessary capacity to improve. But if you give me just a little bit of faith or service or both, then I'll take that very seriously, because I need it. And ultimately, by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, is leading you directly or indirectly towards the lotus feet of Krishna in Vrindavan. So, because I have a little taste, not much, but a little taste, I want that to grow, I want that to develop, and I want to one day have some insight into the wonderful nature of the love of these residents of Vrindavan for Krishna. And I'd like to one day become one of them too.
Thank you. I'd just like to add something that serve those who are better than you. And as Mataji said, serve Prabhupada and Gaur Nitai, Guru Maharaj, Vaishnavas. And you can also serve the unlimited souls who need help, who don't know anything about God and are wasting their lives, don't know about Krishna, what to speak of know about Braj, who just, I hate to use these terms for Prabhupada, but say it so often, no better than animals. So be merciful yourself, and by being merciful to others, you become also an object of mercy for the devotees, for Prabhupada, for Vaishnavas, from Gauritai. What do you think?
I do everything that Mataji and you said. Serve everyone and Gauritai. Pray to Gauritai and Srila Prabhupada.
Say, I couldn't hear the last part. Serve
everyone. As Mataji said, anyone who is above you. So
even those who are not above you, and even those who are the same as you.
Yes.
Serve everyone, but you serve them in different ways.
Yes.
But we can only ever be servants. It's just, you like it or you don't like it, and not only all you can ever be as a servant, you can only be an insignificant servant. How do you feel about that?
Good.
Takes a lot of pressure off. Always remain a servant of the servant of the servant. That's what Mahaprabhu said. And I've spoken to devotees who have somehow or another, by the force of circumstances, they've left from good positions within Prabhupada's movement and left. And the thing that they miss the most is service. It's such an opportunity. Seva is such an opportunity. So if you have been given an opportunity to serve, you should understand it's very, very fortunate. Sometimes who wants to do so much service, we feel too much. So we have to be careful. But the opportunity to serve is the greatest fortune. And as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, as I mentioned yesterday, that service to the Vaishnavas is not a way to get something else. It's the goal. I also heard Prabhupada say, even in the spiritual world, we don't serve Krishna directly, but by serving even through the Guru Parampara, he said that by serving the servants of Krishna, we end up directly serving Krishna. And then he said, this is the mystery of the disciplic succession. It's mysterious. That question was helpful. Thank you. Never give up hope. The hope is not, as Mataji was saying, not in our own ability, but in the hope of getting some mercy. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada used to quote Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur saying, don't try and see Krishna, but act in such a way that Krishna will see you. Any questions? You raised your hand so quickly, and then you're next. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Now, Maharaj, when you are mentioning about the pastimes, about particularly in the Govardhan Leela, you mentioned that Krishna didn't speak to Brahma in the Brahma Vimohan Leela, but he spoke to Indra here. Because is it because Brahma is already realized that his mistake and he's fully surrendered to Krishna?
No.
Okay.
The answer to that question that I heard is that I even mentioned this previously, that Brahma, by his deed, which is so simpler and seemingly less nasty than what Indra did, he just separated Krishna from his devotees. Indra, who what he did was so terrible, but yet he brought all the devotees together. That's the answer that I heard. So Krishna, he spoke to him because he brought all the devotees together. Together to be with the devotees is we need that. Krishna wanted to be with his devotees. Yes, Paul. Was this class easier for you than yesterday's? Yesterday's was too hard. I agree, too much philosophy. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. How are you today? Okay. Are you tired?
A little bit, Maharaj.
Okay.
Maharaj, my question is that in the video you stated that when, like after the Abhishek, Lord Krishna's intimate friends went to him and worshipped him. But they are in an intimate relationship with him. So how did they worship him?
They just took all the ingredients, all they fed Krishna, and they, with the fans, with the peacock, let's hold the umbrella over Krishna. It was very playful also. And then Krishna also gave them the things, and they just play and worship each other, and they enjoyed. Everything was fun there. It's not like school. But do you like school, pretty much?
I'm homeschooled, Maharaj.
Okay, so you like school. Yes? Or no?
No.
School is school, whether it's somewhere else or in your home. Would you rather go and play with the cows all day long with your friends than with Krishna?
I would if I could, Maharaj.
Okay, maybe in the not too distant future. But now, you know why you have to go to school now?
Why, Maharaj?
Do you know why?
Because right now my age is to study.
Yeah, and therefore, and when you're older, you'll be able to do so many more things in the service of Krishna. And yeah, you have to be prepared for the rest of life. You know, the Prabhupada said he didn't want to go to school either, and he said his father was very liberal, but his mother was strict with him. So she hired someone to carry him to school every day. She had to do that. So you don't have to be carried, you're already there.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Any other questions? Yes, first of all, some big ones and you're next. But not that you're not big, but you're big in the future, a little bit. Yes?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. What is it about the cows that is so dear to Krishna?
Well, have you ever been around cows? Do you like cows?
Yeah, I love cows.
Why?
Because of their nature.
What about their nature?
They're very calming to be around, and they're just like funny.
They're funny?
Yeah.
They tell good jokes? What do you mean by
Just
that?
the way that they act.
What? I never expected that. What? Tell me something funny about the cows, the way they act.
Just the way they walk, the way they do everything.
I wonder if they talk amongst themselves about us like that. Look at the way these people walk on 2 legs. But they can use their hands. And look at those funny ears. Yeah. They're very lovable, though, yes? And not only that, they take grass and turn it into milk. And even the cow dung and the cow urine is useful in purifying. And they just take grass and turn it into milk, which is the most valuable food. So they take so little and give so much. But that's not the answer. I think it's because they're lovable. And another answer is, I mean, you could ask the same, why does Krishna play the flute instead of like the trombone or something like that, or electric guitar? Because Krishna's a person, and this is what he likes. He likes to play the flute. And you know what instrument Srimati Radharani plays? A veena. Made out of a kachapi veena, I think, made out of a turtle shell. Most wonderful instrument too. And they sing and dance and like cows. I don't know if I answered your question.
I'm satisfied.
Okay. Okay. Any other question? Okay, you're after Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Maharaj, as we heard, first deserve and then desire. Indra, what he asked is actually a very good thing to ask. That, I don't get affected by pride in future. Nonetheless, Krishna didn't kind of promise that you will, seeing that insincerity in his prayers. Now, talking about myself, I also have many holes in pot. So I also have many holes in a pot.
Yes,
that analogy.
You have cracks also?
Yes.
You're a crackpot.
Now it's a bit discouraging and confusing that what should I pray now? I mean, I pray, but at the same time I feel that, I don't deserve, and Krishna will not fulfill it, and better I should not pray, or what should I pray?
No, you should pray. What Prabhupada meant when he said, I don't think I didn't say that first deserve, then desire. Prabhupada did say that, but I don't think did I say that?
No, you mentioned, Prabhupada mentioned that.
Okay. Yes. So what he was talking to young devotees who, you hear about Krishna, you hear about Vrindavan, you hear about Braj, and he said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go out and become a Baba. I'll go out and just chant Hare Krishna all day long, and I'll leave the society of devotees, and I'll stop my service and things like that. He was really speaking to them. He also said, work now, samadhi later. He's speaking to people who, first of all, the movement needed the devotees to serve, and also the devotees weren't really qualified to do that. So he was telling them, first you become qualified, and then you'll be able to do that kind of service. Now Indra, the thing that Krishna didn't, one way to look at the fact that he didn't bless him to be free from pride is because there was one pastime that had to occur later. And Indra, he wasn't fully sincere about his prayer to Krishna, wasn't fully sincere to remove my pride. That wasn't really his true desire. His true desire was to be free from punishment. That was what was at the core of his prayer. So there was that bit of selfishness in it. So you can pray to be free from pride, and all the cracks in your pot can be healed. Otherwise, what hope do we have? But we rely on Krishna's mercy and to fulfill them, because we don't have the power to fulfill them ourselves. From now on, I'm not going to be proud. From now on, I'm going to chant sincerely. From now on, I'm going to chant without distraction. We don't have the power to do that by our own. So that kind of prayer takes special mercy. And sometimes we have to go through life to learn the lessons of life. And whatever position we find ourselves in, we should try to serve as best we can from that position. Now, I'm not sure if that answers the deep question that you wanted to ask, but don't become hopeless. The hope is in mercy. And as long as you have service, as long as you're serving, you should know that there's no way you've been rejected, because you haven't rejected Krishna or his devotees. There's none of that. But sometimes we just have to go through life before our desires are sincere and pure enough, and we have the capacity to actually be on that level. It's not like Krishna didn't want Indra, the soul who was in the Indra's body, to be in Goloka Vrindavan. It's not that he didn't want him, but he didn't have the qualification at this point. So go back to your position that's natural for you, that's appropriate for you. Don't try to jump to a position that's beyond your capacity, but rather stay in a position and work from that forward, and always expect and hope for some special mercy. But stay in your position and do what you can do, and do the essence. Because the tendency is always, not that you were asking this, the tendency is always to want to change your position, change something external, as if that's going to make the internal change that will be the cause of our satisfaction. So try to make the internal change. And the general, I mean, for you, you probably know what step forward would be best for you at this point internally. Usually when you ask devotees, do you know if you could do one thing in your capacity that would make the most difference in your advancement? Usually the devotees know what that one thing is that's in their capacity, even though it may be a baby step. So do what you can do, and that will attract mercy, and that will attract blessings, more blessings. But I think you're already blessed.
I have one more question.
Wait, first, is that one okay?
Yes. Yesterday we heard...
This point of, that, if I ask who would not like to be in Goloka Vrindavan, if I say who would not like to be, we'd all not raise our hands. We don't. Everyone wants to be there. But who would like to make the changes necessary to be there? And who has the capacity to make it? So it's not like Krishna's saying, Indra, no, you can't be there because I don't like you, or something like that. We can't be in Goloka Vrindavan because we don't have the right consciousness to be in Goloka Vrindavan. And of course we would like some blessing. Please bless me so I can be like a pill of some kind, so we don't have to do any internal work. And the internal work, the sincere attempt, shows our sincerity. So it's the sincere attempt to serve in the proper mood and surrender in the proper mood that attracts mercy, which is courses, but it attracts it. So it's not like Krishna was saying, no, Indra, you can't come. But Indra isn't qualified because, my joke is always, I get to Goloka Vrindavan, I take out my phone and take a selfie. Here I am, guess who's here in Goloka Vrindavan? It's me, here I am. So that kind of mood, you can't be in Goloka Vrindavan like that. You just be in the usual mind that we live in. So when we have the right consciousness and are begging to be in Goloka Vrindavan, begging to serve Krishna there, begging, then when Krishna wants, when he sees all this, it's a matter of one sense of trustworthiness. That we don't we no longer have any tendency to use our situation for my pleasure. No false ego, but real ego. I only want to serve Krishna. Then we'll be in Goloka Vrindavan very soon. So what keeps us out is not Krishna, it's not even Maya. It's our mixed desires. So sometimes Krishna can override everything and boom, but that's the honorary degree that Prabhupada talks about. We don't wait for that. We try our best. And then if Krishna so desires, then we do that. But we should try our best. Sincerely try our best. And then when we decide I'm going to try our best, then we, at least from my own experience, then I know why I'm not in Goloka Vrindavan, because I also try my best to do other things, not only to love and serve Krishna. And to always continuously try your best to please Krishna is called surrender, saranagati. Being that serious. That's sincere. So when we try to be sincere, the first result is to see how insincere we are. That's at least my experience. And what was your second question?
Yes, ma'am. In relation to bringing change internally and externally versus externally. Yesterday we heard Prabhupada say, and before that in class you mentioned that Krishna always protecting you now and in future also he will protect his devotees. When we heard Prabhupada, he mentioned about village life. All you need is village life. Krishna is not after industrial development and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Now, myself, I feel I'm already nicely caught up in network of urban life and pretty much hardly I have any quality time where I can focus my consciousness to Krishna consciousness and all the activities we do. And time to time I feel I should make my life more simple. And that point when Prabhupada said village life, it again brought back that desire. But as soon as I think on that direction, there's some fear comes in front of me that who will look after you, how will you manage your livelihood and this and so on and so forth. Forgetting that Krishna will protect me in future, he is protecting me now. And there is maybe some other social pressure also, what will devotee community will think about it if I make sort of external change in my life, what I'm doing.
But one thing is what we don't want is to go like this and then go like this. So it's better dire.
So yes, question was...
See, and also the glory of village life is that it's sattva-gun. So take the essence of that and try to apply sattva-gun to your life as much as you practically can.
So again, question comes, it is more, I should focus on internal change or it is external or both?
Let the external be based on the internal. Or sometimes Krishna will give you some external change, but let it be focused on the internal. Let the focus be on the internal. That's more in your control. We dream that an external change. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say, when you go to the forest, you'll take your forehead with you. What he meant was the karma that's on your hand. So you end up with the same mind that gives you trouble here as when you're in the forest, you take it with you. So deal with that. And accept that, okay, this is my situation now, how can I serve best within this situation in a responsible way? But sometimes we're thinking of things very specific. And we ask sort of a general question. And I think your questions are, in some ways, everyone's questions. Most of us have questions similar to this. But if you're thinking about something very specific, but asking in a general way, a general answer will not satisfy because you're thinking of something specific. And another thing to do is you talk to devotees who are more advanced in a similar situation to yours, and see how they deal with the problems that you're talking about and thinking about the issues, the challenges. Follow what I mean? Because sometimes people ask me, could you give a class on bringing up young children? And I say, I can't even remember that far back. That was like 4 lifetimes ago. So it's good to talk to those who are in a similar category, but are doing, you see as doing a little better than you, and see how they deal with issues, similar issues. Because whatever issues we have, we're not alone. Is that okay? All right. We had a few here. Yes, but first.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the class. My question was that when Krishna was lifting the Govardhan hill, there's a Sudarshan Chakra above Govardhan hill.
I also heard that, and he was dispelling all the water.
Yeah, and Vasaki was like on the sides.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, Gaurandashan Prabhu told me once.
Who told you?
Gaurandashan Prabhu.
Okay. Gaurandashan is a great scholar.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So you know.
And then, basically...
Do you know that Giriraj Govardhan was being struck by lightning bolts, and he didn't feel any pain? So Srila Kavi Kanapur says that while Krishna was holding up the hill, even though he was being struck by lightning bolts, Giriraj Govardhan didn't feel any pain because he was breathing in the fragrance and smelling the fragrance of Krishna's breath. And he was so overwhelmed by ecstasy, by that counteracted any pain that he may feel by being hit by a lightning bolt. Did you know that?
No, Maharaj.
Well, now you know it.
Yes. So my question was, what's the use of Krishna lifting the Govardhan hill? Sudarshan Chakra was already there protecting it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, whose chakra was it?
Krishna's Sudarshan Chakra.
Yeah, so Krishna, so it was serving Krishna. But really, he was lifting Govardhan hill to he was such a good teacher. Indra took him 7 days, because Indra was very proud, but it took him 7 days to understand this is extraordinary. His power is so much more than my power, so my power is insignificant. Krishna's doing this effortlessly. He has unlimited power. So his pride in his own power, Indra's pride in his own power, has vanished without Krishna saying one word to him. So that was one thing why Krishna lifted the hill. But the other, which isn't talked about much in the Bhagavatam, but it is talked about by other great acharyas, what happened during those 7 days. And Krishna was interacting with all the devotees who were just fully absorbed and looking at Krishna and having very secret and sweet exchanges with Krishna during that time. Because everyone was with Krishna. They all couldn't be with Krishna during at other times, but during that time, everyone in Braj was with Krishna. and everyone's consciousness was just focused on him. And Mother Yashoda was worried about him getting tired and wanting always to feed him. And Madhu Mangal was saying, don't play your flute, Krishna, because the accents of your flute, because Krishna was holding up the hill with his left hand, so he could have been playing with his flute with his right hand. So he was afraid. Do you know why Madhu Mangal was afraid of Krishna playing his flute?
Because he might drop the hill.
Or worse than that, the hill would go into ecstasy and melt. And then it would all land on everyone. So very sweet exchanges. Mother Yashoda, please feed him, my boy, feed him. Because mothers always want to feed their sons and daughters.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. So he wanted to have exchanges with the devotees. He wanted to be with his devotees, just like the devotees wanted to be with him.
But then what's the use of the Sudarshan Chakra on Krishna is like?
Huh? Because Krishna, it's like, do you know how to cook?
Not really, a bit.
A little. So what's the use of your mother cooking for you if you already know how to cook? It's because then you can do other things. Yeah, and she loves to feed you. So the Sudarshan Chakra loved to serve, and Krishna could also do other things. He's doing everything by his energies. It's him who's doing it, but through his energy of the Sudarshan Chakra.
Yes, Maharaj.
So that he can do other things. Exchange with the devotees, the Prabhupadas.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, now this Mataji, and then soon we're going to end.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. As Vrindavan is residence of Krishna, so why Indra wanted to rule Vrindavan? I mean, why he wanted to be worshipped there? And also, do demigods have access? I mean, exalted demigods have access to Vrindavan? Like,
Okay, the first one is, Indra himself answers that question. Why did he try to destroy Vrindavan? And what was the answer? He was angry due to his pride being insulted. So then our acharyas commented.
sorry Maharaj, what I meant is, as Vrindavan is not part of universe, a material universe. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still manifest in not exactly the material universe, but it's there like the embassy of a country, like there's an Indian embassy in Melbourne. So it's the rules of India apply there. And it's sort of both in Australia and in India. So Vrindavan is mysterious. It's completely the spiritual world, but there's no plastic bags in the spiritual world. It's not messy and open sewage. It's wo bhi hai, wo bhi nahi hai. It's mysterious tattva. But the great souls see Vrindavan as the spiritual world. But we see other things maybe. Is that clear? Unclear enough for you? What question remains on this? Because your first question was, why did Indra try to do this? And the answer was, he was angry and full of pride. And then Krishna said to him, according to our acharyas, how could you do this? You're a devotee. And he said, when one is angry and prideful and angry, there's nothing that he's not capable of doing. You follow that?
Can I say something?
Yes.
Perhaps the question was, why did Indra want to be worshipped in Braja? Is it the spiritual world? this was actually one of the prime reasons that Krishna was so angry with him. Because for such a long time, he had been accepting worship from those residents of Vrindavan who Krishna himself worships. So he said, he's accepting worship from my father, but I worship my father. So this is a sign of his pride, that he would accept worship in this way. So it was a customary event, so Indra accepted it. But Krishna, he didn't accept.
That it should be done.
Yeah.
Came from Indra's pride in his not knowing what he should have known, that he himself wasn't the Supreme Lord, but Krishna was. And your question about the devotees, there's devotees in the spiritual world, and the devotees of this world are expansions or manifestations of those. Hare Krishna. Jagattarini, why don't you come up and help with the answers too? Let me just move all the stuff from where you'll sit. Oh yeah, one other thing. We talked about Surabikund, and I happen to have some water here. And guess where it's from? You have to raise your hand. Who's going to guess?
Surabikund?
Yes, it's from Surabikund. But it's not only from Surabikund, excuse me. It's also from all the holy places in South India. But it's also not only from all the holy places in South India, there's also water in here from the Mahakumbha. So if anyone wants a spray of this right after, will you be able to wait a few minutes? Okay. But if not, you can come up and I'll spray you right now. You can do that when you've been married 55 years. Do all kinds of strange things. Okay. Let's see, let me just look at the time. I would like to have a little bit of a kirtan soon, so yes, there's a question over there from Prabhu, and then one way in the back.
Way in the back.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
My question is, what is the difference between self-respect and pride?
Between?
Self-respect and pride.
Okay, my question is, who is the self?
Me.
Me. And who are me?
Soul.
And what else?
Body.
Wrong. But if we have, I'm a servant of Krishna as the sense of self, eternal servant of Krishna, Krishna Nityadas Kiva Sarupa. That is self-respect. So if our relationship with Krishna, that I'm his servant, is in there, then that is not false pride. And I'm surrendered to Krishna. That is humility. So there's another way to look at it too, that if you want to do something in this world, you have to have, and Ayurveda speaks about this, you have to have strong abhiman, a strong sense of self. And I think that's what you're referring to.
That's right.
Yeah, a strong sense of self to do anything in this world. But if everything that we're doing in this world based on a strong abhiman, sense of self, if it's on the material level, it's illusory. So you need to do that to succeed in the material world, but at the end, Krishna in the form of time is going to strike you down, and you'll see that however strong your sense of self was, even though you've accomplished so much in this world, it was just insignificant when compared to fearful time. So that's one thing. But that's not the ultimate way to do something in this world. The ultimate way is a humble way. I am a servant of Krishna, and like Arjuna, he fought and killed. So was that his self-respect, or was that his service to Krishna? He could do anything for Krishna. Hanuman could do anything for Krishna. They were warriors. But was that self-respect, or was that humility? And yeah.
I think it's both.
She thinks it's both. You think it's both. I think I'm outnumbered. But the okay, explain to me how it's both.
Because my understanding is to act in this world, you need to have some sort of self-respect.
That's my understanding also.
Yes, same thing like the pride, like I was thinking how we can differentiate whether I'm acting in a pride or whether I'm protecting my self-respect, because day-to-day dealings you end up into the situation where some situation you have to stand up and protect your self-respect.
Yes, right. But the idea is that you're always going to be fearful that someone's going to point out the fact by force or in some other way that you're tiny and insignificant. There's always fear when if one's the basis is one has to stick up for oneself. There's always going to be so much fear. Because you're 1/10,000th the tip of a head of the hair in size. Now, what kind of self-respect is that? So you have to stick up for yourself, but you're always afraid that someone's going to crush you, and that's called defending. That's a material characteristic. But if you deepen your sense of self to, I am a servant of Krishna, this is my service right now, then you could be relying on Krishna's strength, and then you could be as bold as Arjuna was. What do you think?
Thank you, Maharaj.
See, we have two parts of our life, say. We have our spiritual life and our material life. So we want to bring them together. So we have one part of our life. So we want to use our material part of our life in the service of Krishna. So there's no difference between our work and occupation and our service to Krishna. So how to do that is a very important question that we won't discuss right now. We want to bring the two parts of our life together. This is for Krishna and this is for me. Because that will make your head spin around and around and around. But when you look at the ultimate people who weren't like that, it's the Brijbasis. Everything was for Krishna. And Mother Yashoda, in her motherly mood, would be ready to do anything. She'd be ready to die 1,000 times just to save Krishna from one drop of perspiration. So is that material, I'm a mother, or I'm Krishna's mother? So we want to bring the two parts of our life together. So that means we have to deepen our understanding of who we are. And how do we do that? It's the process of Krishna consciousness. So as long as there's two parts, my self-respect and here's my work for me and people are going to challenge me, it's based on fear. I have to stand up for them. I have to stand up to them. But what happens if they're bigger and stronger and they're in a higher position and they want to crush you, or you're competing with them? You're going to be afraid. But if you're doing it in Krishna's service, you have nothing to fear.
because His will be done. What do you think?
That makes sense to me. Thank you.
So it means, yeah. So sometimes we have, like Prabhupada was brave. He said when he was young, he climbed, there was a scaffolding around, while they were building the Victoria Memorial in Calcutta, and it took them 20 years to build it. And when he was young, have you, raise your hand if you've seen the Victoria Memorial in Calcutta? Yeah. So, it's big, yes? So he climbed the scaffolding when he was young. So one of the devotees was Brahmananda Prabhu. They were on a morning walk. And Brahmananda Prabhu said to Prabhupada, "You must have been so brave when you were young." And Prabhupada replied, "I still am brave. Otherwise, how could I have come to your country alone when I was 80? Or 70 rather." So when Prabhupada was brave climbing Victoria Memorial, you could say that was his material self-respect or self-confidence. Okay, if you want to look at it like that, and then Krishna used him later, that bravery that he had, you could look at it like that, I guess. Or you could say that this great soul, this great devotee, was Krishna empowered him with bravery from his childhood. He used it to do such a brave thing. Which way would you like to see it? But you don't have to answer. Yes, any other? Is that all right? Or do you have further questions on this regard? Because whatever your the points of your self-respect, I'm strong, I have a strong mind, I have a strong body, I'm determined. These things will all be taken away in time. Time it crushes everyone. If that's the center of your consciousness, then it's going to be very disappointing at some point in your life, your long life, because you'll lose all those things. And then you'll see that other people still have it, or coming up. And then you become fearful. What happens if they know I'm weak? This is on the material level. So we should, my understanding is we should deepen our understanding of who we are and deepen our dependence on Krishna, even though we may be strong and determined and strong-minded and Punjabi. We should deepen our dependence on Krishna and not depend solely on our material abilities. We want to become empowered by Krishna even in our ordinary work, because our ordinary work for a devotee is not ordinary. It's in Krishna's service. What do you think, Prabhu, dear Prabhu? Silence means agreement. That was actually Indra didn't say anything.
He said thank you.
Oh, I couldn't hear. Okay, thank you.
I've got the mic.
Okay. Did you have the question also? Or did you want to add something to that?
If it's okay, the thought that occurred to me was, in the Shastra, this Atma is described at the spiritual level, at the mental level, even at the physical level. And your comment that if we identify as a servant of Krishna, that amalgamates all of those three concepts of self into something that makes sense for all of us and something you can be confident about. And otherwise, as you mentioned, if we're thinking on the bodily or even on the mental platform as being the self, without that amalgamation of the spiritual that's when we're going to be in, that's where we start getting into a lot of trouble.
And there's always going to be someone stronger than us, or more talented than us, or more intelligent than us, or a better speaker than us, or who knows more verses than us, or who's a better singer than us, or whatever we're proud of. We can never be number one. So therefore, the material situation is always fearful. Because someone's out to crush you because of envy. And even if you, it's like I'm thinking of one country, there's a person who's very powerful and in control of that country, neighboring of India. And people say he's very much powerful and in control. And I always say, just imagine how many enemies he has who wants to knock him down. And they're just waiting. They're just waiting for a mistake. So how could you just imagine? And you don't just imagine you're on top, seemingly on top, and you know that you don't know who to trust, and who secretly has behind their back has a knife. What a life. You don't know who you can trust and who secretly wants to stab you. That's what it's like on top in the material world. And then everyone smiles at you, and everyone's so polite with you, and the wealthiest people, wherever they go, they never have to pay for anything. This is so ironic. Please have this, please stay here, please take this. Everyone wants something from you. This is material life. As Srila Prabhupada used to quote Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur saying, this is not a place for a gentleman. So depend on Krishna and use all the gifts that Krishna has given you, and that many, use them all as a servant of Krishna. Use your truck, use your milk, use your bravery, use your strengths, the gifts of Krishna. Use them to please Krishna. Somehow or another. That's a meditation. How can I please Krishna with the gifts? Don't deny the gifts that you have. Rather, think that I'm so fortunate Krishna has given me this. Now how can I please Krishna with them? Like the offering of Ganga water back to the Ganga. Any other questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, out of all the anarthas, pride is one anartha which we cannot identify straight away.
But everyone else will identify it for you. You don't have to worry.
Correct.
And all the rest of your faults too. Are you married?
Yes, ma'am.
See?
My question is, how do we identify pride in ourselves so that we can prevent it?
Well, you just see how much you want to serve others and how much you want to be served. Secretly, and no one else knows how you're thinking, but you know. And when someone criticizes you, how do you take that? When someone criticizes you, or in what circumstances do you find yourself getting uneasy and disturbed and internally reacting? What is that hiding? What does that want to reveal to you? These are introspective points, and devotees should be introspective and not too busy to be introspective. And one thing, this is like, next week we have a retreat, Alone with Krishna retreat, that will give you that time that is so hard to find in our daily lives. We'll come and we'll sit and have time to introspect, to read with no distractions, to chant with no distractions. pray with no distractions. Next week, maybe Sri Chaitanya Prabhu will mention something about that. What is it?
Just a poster.
Huh?
Poster for the next week.
Is it visible? Because I can't see it from here. Okay, Mataji, you had a question? All right. Is that all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the beautiful class. My question is regarding this pride. So now even if you have pride, if we do devotional service with full heart, try our best to do please Krishna, like the way Krishna brought Indra down, he will bring us down, he will drag us down, so we don't have to worry about it.
He didn't drag Indra down. He let Indra understand without saying one word that he had done something wrong. He was the best of teachers.
So
he didn't embarrass him in front of anyone. Rather, he told the cow, when he was going to apologize, he even told the cowherd boys to go away. He went alone to make it easier for Indra.
What I meant was that if there is, without our knowledge, if we have pride, Krishna will indirectly help us to bring it down somehow.
Yes. Make it away. We become conscious of it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Because everyone in the material world has pride. Everyone in the material world has envy. Everyone. This is the nature of ahankara. Krishna, but we turn our back on Krishna. So how proud do you have to be? Falsely proud. Why does everyone want to be with Krishna? Why don't they serve me?
But devotees consciously, they don't want to have any pride, but in case if they have unconsciously.
Yeah, but you become conscious of the unconscious. And then you become humble when you see I have this big fault. Then in spite of so much hearing, so much chanting, so much this, I still have this tendency to want to be the center, to want to be proud. So that will make us humble when we're conscious of it. And humility is, you can't be humble and proud at the same time.
Thank you so much.
Do you want to add anything?
Humility doesn't feel very good. Being made humble doesn't feel very good. What should we do about that?
Is that your question?
That is my question to you.
Well, leave it as pride. I mean, it gives you, how do you describe what a feeling feels like? But pride is, it's not as pleasant as love for even looking at Radha Ballabha. Pride, there's something artificial about it. It's something that feels like it doesn't belong there, that feeling of pride. And then immediately it's accompanied by fear.
It often prevents you from looking at Radha Ballabha. You don't even have the ability to look.
You can look at Gopinath. Well, that's why we should keep them to be. I'll get it later, don't worry. Here, you can. It's holy water. Oh, it felt so good. when one is in, how does Rupa Goswami and Kaviraj Goswami and all the great devotees, they're the most humble. How is that even possible? What are they seeing in themselves? My understanding, it's the nature of being advanced. Because you advance means you're in the presence of Krishna. So it's the very nature of the soul being in the presence of the Supreme Lord that he feels humble. So how can Rupa Goswami be? Sanatana Goswami, all the great souls are the most humble. So then I'm thinking, well, how do I imitate being humble so that everyone knows that I'm a great soul? I mean, the material mind is so clever.
And then you become proud.
Then you become proud. I'm so proud of my humility, etc. Yes. Are you teaching nowadays? Was that a yes or a no?
No, Maharaj. Maharaj, my question is pertaining to offenses, repeat offenses and relapsing after apologizing. So we see that in the 4th canto, Daksha Prajapati, he majorly offends, and then Lord Shiva sorts him out. And
sorts him out? You mean cut off his head?
Cut off his head. Yeah. And then Lord Hari comes and, things are patched up. He also offers really good prayers.
Really good.
And Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says that, he's not really sincere. He's making these prayers, but in his heart, that is not yet clean. Like,
what did he make the prayers for? What did he want? What was he praying for?
Well, he's glorifying the Lord and
but what was his purpose? What was the root cause? What did he want?
He wanted to be reinstated as, as a Prajapati, and the continuation of his service and all that is my
Yeah. There was a material attachment in there.
Yes.
He wanted fulfilled.
So in the case of Indra here again, he's goofed up, and then he realizes, like Daksha Prajapati, oh, I messed up with the wrong guy. He's too powerful, and he's afraid that I can be thrown to the hellish planets. Now Yamaraj can be called and I would be heavily reprimanded. And out of that fear, my question is, you can see that offenses are breeding offenses. That offensive mentality hasn't gone because it hasn't deeply been acknowledged. The focus is, I got into trouble because, either I messed up with the wrong guy, or because I chose the wrong venue, or because of some other person. If I could have reprimanded Shiva personally, privately, I could have sorted this out and, salvaged my own ego as well. And, you don't have the dignity to stand up in front of your father-in-law. What are you doing? But because I did it publicly, and, now I'm, all these other people also became... Anyways, the core question is that this offenses leading to more offenses, they are kind of not allowing the comprehension of the real problem. And our own suffering goes invisible as well, that I'm actually suffering because of my offensive mentality, not just because of what I did. I'm saying sorry for what I did, but why I did it, I have failed to acknowledge that, and that's why these relapses are happening. So my question is on that. I don't know if I've made any sense of that.
Well, keep going to the question.
The question is about this offensive mentality that, we pray to Krishna, we pray to devotees, Vancha kalpatarubhyascha, but that offensive mentality is not...
So what's the opposite of an offensive mentality?
Is a service attitude to think of yourself.
So unless the actual surrender or sharanagati or servant mood or humility takes birth in the heart, the offensive attitude, the turning the back on Krishna, it will continue in one form or another. I think that's the point that you're making. So is the question, how do you surrender so deeply? How do you really surrender? Or what causes?
Yes, Maharaj. I think there are two parts to it.
Yeah.
One is that we fail to acknowledge this. How do we bring our focus to, it was me actually. The problem was not with the other party. They may have said or done what they may have said or done, but the root of the trouble is in me.
Yeah.
And then the second part of the question is...
Okay, let me just deal with one part first. I'll try. If this is happening again and again and again to you, you're the only constant player in this. And it just never ends until one questions, why is this happening to me? It will never end unless one understands that there's something wrong with me. So it will happen again and again and again, one life after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next. And Krishna won't let you go until you come to the point of surrendering, but it can't be forced. Because this kind of surrender, okay? Will you surrender? Will you love me? Will it? You better answer quickly because I'm going to pull the trigger.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's not the real thing, right? So eventually, by hearing and by good association, one understands, I want this. I don't want to continue being me with my false ego. And then what do? When you come to grips, you come to have to accept the fact that the problem is me, and that I'm just superficial in my devotion. I'm not actually a devotee. And then how do you deal with that? That's what your question was. It's not a taste it's not an acquired taste. Not humiliation. But it should lead to prayer and to taking shelter of Krishna. I don't have the capacity to do this. But you are so wonderful. I'm under the grip of the modes of nature. Unless you help me, what hope do I have? And then one continues trying one's best to serve and expecting mercy whenever it comes. One can't demand mercy. Is that close to the question that you were asking, addressing the question that you're asking?
Yes, Maharaj.
It can take... See, when you see someone who's very, very, very pure and is humble and is expert and yet humble, we should understand that they didn't just magically appear like that. They've been practicing for many lives, or they've gotten some special mercy at some point or another. But it's a process. It's a process, and what we desire in this life may be the seeds of our next birth. So, it's a process. I mean, to realize one is an insignificant servant of Krishna is that's who I am. To identify myself as that, deeper than any other identification. And please, oh Lord, please engage me in your service. These are, one said, foundational and simple, but very deep realizations that take their time to manifest. And because we're in Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was given some special dispensation. Krishna in the form of Mahaprabhu, or Mahaprabhu was given of the holy names. And when you have kirtan, and you surrender to the kirtan, and you absorb yourself in the kirtan, the bliss of the spiritual world, a taste of that enters. And that taste, or you put yourself in front of Radha Vallabha, or you stand in special places at Govardhan, or you hear the Bhagavatam with a full heart, or you're in the association of a great soul, their desire, that a different desire enters the heart. There's a different flavor to that than material existence. And at some point you recognize the difference. And I want that, I don't want this. And that's many steps forward. Even though you may be entangled on this level or feel foolishly revert, but still you recognize the difference between what you want and what you really want, the best part of you wants. I think that's the best I can do on that. What are you thinking now, little one? Right this very moment, what are you thinking when these talks are so abstract? And
I'm trying to understand what you were saying, Maharaj.
Such a nice devotee.
And I was also thinking when Prashant was going to get
Such an honest devotee.
Brahmin boy. Did you want to add anything or say anything?
Well, one essential point is to somehow or other, either indirectly or directly, to receive an experience of someone very advanced. Because for them, what's difficult for you is natural for them. And so what happens is you feel like anyone saying you're great for whatever you do feels superficial because you've seen yourself in relationship to them. So then it doesn't bewilder you in the same way because you know very clearly and firmly, no, I'm not. So that gives you a greater sense of freedom than if you haven't had that reference point of somebody who doesn't have the problem of repeated offensiveness. And I really like what you said there because it's true. There's a subtle, growth comes from the subtle. And so we carry the subtle, oftentimes very secretively. If we recognize it at all, we don't want other people to, we don't want to vocalize that. That's embarrassing. And there's enough evidence in my circumstances before me that there was some injustice or some difficult situation and therefore this happened and that happened. There's enough painful reference there for me to get away with it, with the onlookers who don't know me very deeply, but those who know me deeply recognize I keep doing the same thing. And I don't want to hear it because that would make me feel more insecure. I'm already feeling insecure, and then they're going to tell me that, I continuously do this, whatever offensive patterns I carry. And so then it's almost like Krishna's kindness comes in a form, it's like a major operation. Some situation occurs that I can't get out of. Circumstances put me in a situation where the trauma of my misguidedness rises to such a height and I can't get out of it. There's nobody else in the situation I can excuse myself to. It has to be me. And then that's incredibly painful. That's like having an operation without anesthesia. It's probably the last thing that anyone ever wants to experience because it's going to point to the core problem that your root, deep is that you think you're whatever you think you are. And the only kind of, balm for that in the healing process of such an operation is actually the right association and actually Shastra, because it's like Shastra gives you I think I'm not alone in that if you have some health issue, you wake up with a backache, you go online and you look up the Mayo Clinic or Health Online or something, and you put in the symptoms, backache, this, and you're looking for some information that will give you guidance how to deal with that problem. And of course, when you go online looking for a medical answer, you really don't find it, because it all has to be general. The website can't be specific. If it was specific, it wouldn't apply to everyone else who came to that website. So it's almost has to be something so general that doesn't really help, it seems. But that education about my condition can lead you then to a specialized person who does know, who has studied, and is personally involved with that particular health condition. And then it's them, that person, they can guide you how to deal with your health condition, and similarly how to deal with your spiritual health condition. But you do need to go through the process of checking the books, the health books, to have enough capacity to recognize the person who can help you. If you say, I have a heart condition, what is it like? I don't know, I just have it. Well, what are the symptoms? I don't know, you're going to be asked at some point, be very specific. This is the condition that you have. And then that expert says, oh, then you must take this medicine and this diet. And then if you say, oh, I can't do that, which often is the case, then the condition will continue until you come to the point that it becomes serious enough to you, obvious enough to you, I've got to take this procedure, whatever I've been told. So I needed the education, that's the Shastra. I need the guidance of someone, that's the sadhu. And we also need the Guru. And Srila Prabhupada vouches to stand in that, or seated in that position for all of us, irregardless of whether we're first generation, second generation, and so forth. He's firm. You come to me, I'm capable of giving you specific guidance through my books. So that would be my answer.
Right, everyone else? Okay. Charity begins at home. Huh? Yeah. This could get into something serious.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Unfortunately, we are approaching the end of the retreat soon. So this is very hard to make this announcement.